U.S. Department of Justice, or Salem Department of Justice, I should say.
The number you reached is the caller ID number of the Oregon Department of Justice, which is not monitored. Please visit our website at www.doj.state.or.us for working contact information. Thank you.
See, that doesn't make it accessible to me. The point here is to talk to a human being who can actually fucking do something and come get my goddamn evidence. Do something about these people not leaving me the fuck alone. I don't want to be on fucking YouTube. What a fucking waste.
The number you have reached is the caller ID number for the Oregon Department of Justice, which is not monitored. Please visit our website at www.doj.state.or.us for working contact information. Thank you.
Fucking. God damn it. What a fucking waste. See, that's why I need help with this shit. I am fucking overwhelmed.
Oregon Crime Victims Law Center, this is Jack.
Hello, my name is Sean Schwartz. Department of Justice sent me your number. I tried calling them back, and it's an electronic voice that says to do it online. I have disabilities that prevent me from doing that, and I've been explaining that for 7 years, sir. I can't just keep taking abuse. Law enforcement here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Who were you told to, did you try to call us and were told to do something online? What's
No,
the
I
situation
called
exactly?
I called back the Department of Justice number that gave me your number.
I see.
So they gave me your number, but I was in a hurry because I had court. I have stalkers that have been stalking me over a woman who was killed in 2017. And
Okay.
local law enforcement, they're pretty crooked here. I tried going to the last sheriff. I've been sent a runaround as far as the telephones go. I get hundreds of restricted calls some days, like in a row. I can't tell one call from another one. So many government agencies call from restricted numbers, and none of them respect that boundary. That puts my life at risk, and that puts my loved ones' lives at risk. I've had to post on YouTube and Facebook to show that I actually make an effort, because police can say whatever they want and send me to these agencies under the whole mentally ill thing. And that's the problem, is that I have Asperger's. I'm not mentally retarded. I don't have delusions. I don't have schizophrenia. I've got documentation to prove it. But the problem is my words aren't heard. And I how do I explain this? I'm being taken advantage of by homeless and law enforcement everywhere I go.
Okay. What were you hoping that we could help you out with?
I don't know. You're the ones DOJ gave me the number too, but I've got a lot of stalkers and they've been doing this for a lot of years and I've had absolutely zero help defending myself against them. I've had everything taken away from me. My disabilities prevent me from doing any of this stuff for myself and I'm just sent around in circles. I was literally forced to become a resident of the state of Oregon in order to try to get help stopping people hurting me here. I'm disabled. I'm from Nebraska. My disability is from Nebraska. I shouldn't have been trapped here. Just because crimes are committed against a disabled person doesn't mean that I should be forced to move here. And even after moving here, I still can't safely make a report.
So what have you been trying to report?
A lot of bullying, a lot of threats, a lot of harassment, a lot of assaults, going back all the way to 2016.
Okay.
A woman named Natalie Bollinger got her brains blown out, and I have to deal with the consequences.
Sorry to hear that. Okay, so what we do is we work with victim rights. So in criminal cases, if there are named victims in the court record.
But, sir, they won't let me get that far. That's the problem, sir. I just get the runaround if everyone tells me it's everyone else's job. I am disabled. I have PTSD and cannot function because of abuse. I can't function because of the number of people that harass me and threaten me. I can't function because of the number of police officers who take advantage of that. And everyone else takes advantage of that as well. All right, all I have is my voice and my evidence, and nobody will look at the evidence, nobody will hear my voice.
I understand that is. I understand that how that is frustrating. I'm just trying to think of if our organization is able to help. Have you contacted Disability Rights Oregon ever?
Yes, I've called everyone there is to call. The problem is that I'm disabled and alone. I'm alone. I am alone. I can't take care of myself and can't protect myself, and I am alone. I am an easy fucking target. Plus, I was painted out to be some sort of super psycho stalker all over the news and in a bunch of true crime sites. I am autistic. I have Tourette syndrome. Those are two things I cannot turn off. I've repeatedly tried to turn in the police and been blown off because I'm forced to go to the very police agencies I'm trying to turn in. These are small agencies. They bully me into the next jurisdiction, and the next jurisdiction says they can't do anything because I'm in a different jurisdiction. I can't do this stuff over the internet. I need someone to help me with it before the evidence is lost and stolen and all of my friends and all of my interpersonal relationships are destroyed, which is, by the way, 7 years ago. Everywhere I go, I have to deal with bullying, which means that everywhere I go, I have to record. Everything that I do, I have to record. Everyone that I call, I have to record. I literally can't function. I've called every service in Tillamook. I'm given the runaround. I don't have a parent or guardian to look out for my rights, so nobody else seems to believe it's their job. I literally can't take care of myself. I can't function in public, especially with what I've been through. And I have evidence that I've been forced to stay with drug addicts and drug dealers and pawned off on drug addicts and drug dealers. People who have no business. When I'm bullied, I'm supposed to go to my friends or family for help. I'm supposed to ask the bully to stop. If they don't, I'm supposed to go to my friends or family for help. If they don't care, then I'm supposed to go to a teacher or a preacher or a police officer or someone like that, or even the hospital. But when I go to those people, what they see is that I'm an intelligent adult. They don't see the abuse that I'm having to go through or how being talked over shuts me down. I literally can't take care of myself. I've been repeatedly assaulted for crimes that were never committed, or crimes that weren't committed by me. And it's not okay that I've never been allowed to show evidence of the wrongdoing of others. I've never been allowed to face my accusers. I've literally had to act like them publicly and online in order to try to get people to care. Like, I shouldn't have to stream the horrible things that are being streamed at me, at other people, for somebody to recognize that it's wrong.
I'm sorry, sir. We are not able to help. That's not an area that we work in. So I apologize, but we will not be able to help.
Who does help disabled people to stop abuse?
Disability Rights Oregon, you can try them.
So none of you guys really know who I should go to? It's just a guessing game, because we've been playing this guessing game since I got to Oregon. I had to flee Colorado to come here. I've had to go to places where drug addicts go to get help, and a lot of them are volatile, and a lot of them target me because I am small and I am frail and I can't defend myself. I have PTSD and I am overwhelmed. It's got to be someone's job. It's got to be someone's job to do something other than guess.
I would recommend that you reach out to Disability Rights Oregon.
All right, if I get a pen, can you give me the number that you have for them?
Sure.
I do this every single day. I go from one phone number to a phone number to phone number to phone number. Everyone's sending me to another phone number.
No, I understand that's frustrating. I do.
You don't understand. I am disabled. I can't do these things for myself. I never get past the phone call. My hand is screwed up. I can barely write. I can barely walk. I have to go to police officers who committed crimes against me to turn them into themselves. This is not okay. This is not accessible for disabled people, especially if they're out on the streets. What's their number?
503
503
243
243
2031 or 2081.
2081 or 2031?
81.
Sir, it's not okay that I have to keep making these calls, all right? I can't just keep making these calls. It's supposed to be a mandated reporter's job to stop this.
I'm sorry we are not able to help. I have a limited amount of time. I do need to end this call.
Yeah, all of you do that. 988 hotline does that. Suicide hotline does that. Why are we being sent to you guys? This is stupid.
Okay.
Why are disabled people sent in circles like this? Fuck it. God bless America, right? So let's call this next place. It's just phone call after phone call. I shouldn't have to record this shit.
Disability Rights Oregon. Para Español Oprima Uno. You may enter an extension at any time. Press 2 for the staff directory. If you have reached this message during business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., we are away from the front desk or helping someone else. If you need help with a disability-related issue, please try again later. We do not accept voicemails, including for intake. Please hang up and dial 211 for immediate referral information. If you have immediate safety concerns, please hang up and call 911.
Fucking goddamn it, 911 is my safety concern. Jesus goddamn Christ. Call this goddamn number.
Thank you for calling 1. To continue in English, please press 1. Para continuar en español,
Please enter the 5-digit zip code where you are currently located. If you do not know that zip code, please press the pound or hash sign.
for information on COVID-19, the flu,
We've already been through this fucking number.
or Mpox, please press 0. If you would like housing information regarding services such as emergency shelter, rent assistance, or mortgage and foreclosure assistance,
Please press 1. If you would like parenting information, including foster care provider support and child care services, please press 2. If you would like information about pesticides, or you would like to make a complaint about an incident involving pesticides, please press 3. If you are seeking help with paying an energy bill, like an electric bill, a natural gas bill, a water bill, or a bill for heating fuel, please press 4. If you would like to speak with a maternal and child health specialist about resources related to women's health exams, pregnancy, WIC, well child checks, contraceptives, or STI screening, please press 5. For all other services, please press the pound or hash sign. Please hold for the next available specialist. 211 Info strives to improve our services through community feedback. We would like to follow up with you in 2 weeks to see how useful the information was that we offered you today, and to see if you might need additional assistance at that time. Would you be willing to receive an automated call from 211 Info at this number?
No!
Please press 1 for yes, 2 for no.
thank you for calling 211. My name is Price. How can I help you?
I'm a disabled and at-risk adult. I'm being abused by the services here in Tillamook. I can't go to any of the services here. I was abused out of all of my resources, and that's not okay. People took advantage of my disabilities, and they continue to do so. I've gone to the police. It's a big joke to them. They know I can't get a lawyer. Nobody's going to listen to me. All they got to do is call me mentally ill. I'm autistic, not retarded. I have a very high IQ, sir.
Okay.
I'm overwhelmed.
And are you wanting to make an APS report today?
I've been trying to, but for the last 11 months, the APS reports that I've tried to make have all gone to Northwest Senior and Disability Services, which is one of the places I'm trying to turn in.
I see. Okay, would you like to perhaps make a complaint against a government office?
I'd like to make a complaint against a bunch of government offices. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. I get bullied from one place to the next.
Okay.
It's not just a complaint. My safety, my life is at risk here, sir. And police here have made it that way. They won't do their job for me, and they prey on my communication disabilities. I literally can't go to anyone. I've lost every friend that I have over abuse by law enforcement. And it's not just law enforcement, it's also the general public. I'm stuck out here homeless. I was made homeless because of Natalie Bollinger getting her brains blown out. They found the guy that did it, but that doesn't mean people leave you alone.
I understand. So I can find you resources here for ombudsman offices, which will be
I've already
statewide government complaint
I've already called the ombudsman's office. I can't take care of myself. Anything on top of that, I cannot do. All of these services have already been informed that I can't take care of myself. I literally cannot take care of myself. And they prey on this and send me in circles and pretend that I'm stupid because I have to call alone. I am a vulnerable adult, and they prey on that instead of helping me put a stop to people taking advantage of me. Every service that I go to alone is going to
I
do
see.
that. I don't have a guardian, and
Okay.
every advocate that I've had said that they don't advocate. They literally do not advocate.
See, and you mentioned one of these offices, aging and disabilities and veteran services.
It doesn't say and veteran services on it, but that's one of the questions they ask when you go in is if you're a veteran, and no, I'm not.
Okay. Um, just one moment here. So, you said you've spoken with the ombudsman offices.
Everyone has told me that it's somebody else's job. Nobody has tried to understand my disabilities or come to collect the evidence. I'm overwhelmed. I shouldn't be forced to do this on YouTube and Facebook. I never should have. But as a disabled adult, that's the way that I'm forced to do it because cops don't listen to me. They send me to a bunch of services that say it's not their jobs. Or they try to make me do it across the internet, and I don't have the internet access to do the stuff I've already been asked to do. I just can't do it. I don't have the money to keep running around to services that are supposed to help, don't look at evidence, don't nothing. And they keep changing the rules. Like, literally, I've been bullied into moving to Oregon. Like, I came here to find a couple of missing people. I've now been bullied into moving 3 times. 4 times, sorry, since I got to Oregon. And I can take a lot of bullying. But when it's bullying by the cops, oh, sorry, especially when, they're in the news for doing this stuff. And I tried telling on them a long time ago. And I can't get a friend or family member who cares. Instead, they just rip me off for all my money. Meanwhile, I'm disabled. I only get $822 a month to live on anyway. And people keep sending me to all these different services that I have to get the victimization to stop before I can perform or function to do anything for myself. And I have physical disabilities in addition. TFCC is the mental health place. They send me to Northwest Senior and Disability Services, and they're supposed to be the physical disability place. And they both bounce me back and forth, one of them saying it's the other's job. They've been doing that for 11 months. They've also sent me to the DOJ. They've also sent me to a lot of other places. I get literally hundreds of restricted calls to my telephone every day. Like, I can't tell if it's a police officer or somebody who's threatening to kill me or my sister, so I don't answer the restricted calls. And every time I have to try to start over new with this, I have a panic attack about it and can't function.
Okay, so I've got a couple ideas here. Have you called the Aging and Disability Resource Connection of Oregon? It's kind of a general line. It's not going to be a localized office.
I probably have, and they've probably sent me to someone else, but you know what? Just like with every other number that I get, I write them all down and I call them all. They're all about like this call. I'm not disabled enough for anyone to care, but I'm definitely disabled enough for people to target because it's easy.
I understand.
A lot of these people who did wrong, they didn't intend to begin with. All right, they just made bad assumptions, and they didn't follow the law or the protocols, and that resulted in a lot more abuse. And now I have police officers here in Tillamook bullying me, as well as a lot more people that are. I got evidence of a lot of stalkers, a lot of them online and in real life, but I can't
Okay.
get anyone to look at it. I can't take care of myself because I already had PTSD before all of this, and I literally can't function because of it. I can't be bullied into submission everywhere that I go. This is not okay. I've literally had to flee one state to another because nobody will look at evidence. They just give me the mentally ill treatment, but the rights of a quote unquote mentally ill person. Meanwhile, I get my disability check because of physical disabilities, and they wouldn't pay any attention to that either. Like, I have to pay all of my money out every month to hire people to do things that I cannot do for myself, even though I get a government check because I can't do these things for myself. And obviously, $822 isn't enough to do anything with. I live in a car and
Gotcha.
I'm victimized often.
Unfortunately, I'm just information and referral. So what I can do is I can do my best to provide you with these resources.
Yes, sir. That's what everybody
That
else
I
says.
think might be
That's
the.
not providing with resources. That's providing with the referral number. But I will still take the referral number so that I can show that I'm calling a referral number that'll send me to another referral number.
Yes, sir. Would you like to take it down by hand, or would you like me to send you a batch of text messages? I know you talked about a couple things. I can look up law enforcement complaint numbers, as
They're
well
not
as
taking
things
my complaints,
such as
sir.
the self-sufficiency office.
They're not taking my
Okay.
complaints. Is the problem.
So I think then the
But I got
next
a pen.
good course of action. Yeah, you said you had a pen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and let's see here. This is the Aging and Disability Resource Connection of Oregon, and their toll-free number is 855.
Hold on. I gotta write it down.
Oh, sorry. Take your time.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, and their toll-free number is 855 673 2372.
When I'm abused, I'm supposed to call 911. 911 doesn't listen to homeless men. I'm still disabled. They won't do their jobs. No matter where I go, I'm still homeless.
I understand. I can find the numbers that I have for law enforcement complaints and whatnot here. If you're so interested, I understand that you've been encountering a lot of barriers with services
They're
like
they're
that.
taking advantage of my
I would
disabilities.
encourage to call.
They're taking advantage of my
I would
disabilities.
encourage you to call.
Call who?
I understand. The number I just provided, the Aging and Disability Resource Connection of Oregon, have resources
Hello?
more specifically tailored
Hello?
towards folks. You said that you receive it. Hello?
Yeah, I'm having problems understanding you. I think your speaker's cutting out.
Oh, I'm very sorry. The number I provided you with has resources more specifically tailored towards
They're
the
not.
aging and disabled
They're not.
populations.
But I'll call them anyway.
Okay. Is there anything else that I could help you with today?
I can't take care of myself.
I understand. And unfortunately, I'm just information referral, and the Aging and Disability Resource Connection is my best guess at trying to point you in the right mandatory reporters. So I will file an Adult Protective Services report.
You are mandated reporters?
I am, and so if you would mind
Go ahead.
sharing some information with me. Just a moment here. Okay. And this is an APS.
The Adult Protective Services
Would you mind providing your...
I want to tell you the Adult Protective Services here is the Office of Aging and Disabled here, which is one of the places that I'm trying to turn in because they just gave me the runaround. They didn't assess my situation. As soon as they heard police officer, their ears turned off and they sent me off to another resource. Go ahead, though.
I see. So you can decline, but I would still like to collect information to submit a report.
Yes, sir. I'm not going to decline at all. I've been trying to get a mandated reporter who will do their job for a while. I've had to take this abuse for 7 years. It's not just online bullying. It's in real life people threatening to kill me and assaulting me and threatening to kill my friends and family. And my friends and family they treat me like I'm a bad person because other people threaten to kill them.
Okay. I'm going to make sure that I get this report written up. Could I please get your first and your last name?
Yes, sir. My first name is Shawn, SHAWN.
Okay, I've got that down.
My last name is Schwartz, SCHWARTZ.
Very much, Shawn. And how old are you?
I am 42, almost 43.
Okay. And then this phone number that I have up here, 308.
Hold up. Please.
Okay.
I don't know my phone number, so there's no sense reading it back to me. But there's also safety issues with reading my phone number back to me.
Okay, my apologies.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The number that you have on your caller ID is probably it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and write that down. My apologies once again.
Yes, sir.
Is there an address that you would like me to put down here, or I can put not available?
It's P.O. Box 701, Tillamook, Oregon. Like, I was forced to move here and jump through a bunch of housing stuff and spend a bunch of money that I don't have. I was given empty promises by people who just... My disability money was not supposed to be used for getting taken advantage of.
Okay, I understand. And who, do you have a name of somebody in particular who is using your disability money to take advantage of you?
Well, one of the situations is that I'm bullied into moving by law enforcement and by all these services when I get bullied by people in a community. Because of Natalie Bollinger getting shot in the head and people pretending I was a stalker, they just call me mentally ill and don't allow me my rights in court. It's an officer's word versus mine. And because I don't have a friend or family member to go with me, they're acting under color of law. And I've had Lawyers explain this to me, and I've had a lot of other people explain it to me, but it's what it all comes down to is that I'm alone, and as a result, law enforcement doesn't feel they should have to do their jobs. A lot of the services that I'm sent to that are supposed to be mandated reporters, I tell them over and over again what's going on. But the problem is they've already set everything up for a 50-minute appointment and 10 minutes in between appointments per day. So they're not going to take the time to do that. There's a lady named Nicole Vertner. She's explained that. There's also Danelle Boggs. And I have the recordings with them that show I told the truth about that. This is all over a situation with a. Sorry. I know people don't want to hear about anything that happens in the States, but I'm literally having people threaten my life and harass me everywhere that I go over a situation that happened in Colorado back in 2017. Somebody else shot Natalie in the head. But people pretended that I was stalking her, and they made my life a living hell because there was nothing I could do to defend myself against it. I'm disabled. I mean, what am I going to do when people assault me? I couldn't go and see my friends or family anymore, and they're the ones who kept me safe.
Gee, okay, so got that down here.
I'm sorry. I have communication difficulties when I'm really overwhelmed, and when I'm talking to new people. I can mask really well. I'm just sorry. Go
No, you're
ahead.
providing me with good information here. No, you're just perfectly fine.
When I get overwhelmed,
I've got.
go ahead.
Oh no, please continue.
When I get overwhelmed, like I'm not good at remember names and numbers, so I save it all online and on computers and on paper. But also, I'm living homeless. I had housing. I was in assisted living in Chapel, Nebraska before Natalie was killed. My therapist in Nebraska, they weren't helping me with any of the online predation or any of the people calling me and telling me they're going to kill me and they're going to get a hold of my family and all sorts of stuff like that. I've had to post up the threats online that people have sent me over and over and over again on my Facebook and on YouTube to show that they're happening, but people don't help me to turn it in. Plus, I'm a male who's got severe PTSD, and I have been diagnosed with that. But it also makes it so that when I'm still stuck in an unsafe environment, I talk nonstop. There's also a lot of important stuff when I speak, like um, people's assumptions of autism. A lot of the stuff that's used to harm me is not what autism is. A lot of times people shut me down by telling me that they have a family member that's autistic. Now, that's usually a cue that they don't want to hear about it. And if I try to push it, I usually get snapped at and told something like, I already told you my daughter's autistic. But we're not all the same. And even the medical profession is having difficulties with it because people like me, we don't fit. What we fit is the CPTSD spectrum, not the autism spectrum so much. Autism and people with Asperger's both exhibit high levels of, uh, what do you call those? Traits of abuse. We show a lot of signs of abuse, a lot of difficulty communicating, and people tend to talk over us. Now, this situation that I've been trying to explain to you since I called you, I could have explained this in 5 minutes 7 years ago, but that's the problem with being made a public nuisance by the news and being victimized by the police who don't want to hear it. By the time they realized that they'd gotten somebody killed by ignoring me, I was forced to go back to those departments to turn in the crimes that were committed against me. And with the fact that there was at least 6 different police departments involved before Natalie got killed, just that I had gone to. I don't know how many Natalie had gone to, but her friends and family were threatening my life, and they were making her life a living hell, and all we needed was somebody to sit down like a grown-ass adult between us. I was trying to explain that people were assaulting me and threatening to kill me and threatening my family. I still have evidence of the people who are doing that, like Tim Beeson. And there's also a lot of the threats and harassment by Ted Bollinger. I literally made a YouTube channel to speak up about these people.
So both of those names, I would like to take both of those down. So I heard Kim, and you
Tim Beeson.
have her last name.
TimBeeson.
Okay, and do you have a contact number for Tim?
I do not. The police in Natalie Bollinger's case when she was killed should have contact information for just about everybody on the Colorado side. I do have contact information for a lot of people, but I live in my car, and because of I get overwhelmed and I can't function, like I said, and the more cluttered it is, the more I can't function. I spend my money running around all the places that I'm told to go to, though. Sorry. Also, his last name is Beeson, Beeson.
Okay, and then what was Natalie's last name?
Bollinger.
Just so if they end up contacting, yeah.
Bollinger. Bollinger.
Okay, gotcha. And is that in Colorado?
Yes, sir.
Where that happened?
Yes, sir. She was shot in the head in Colorado. She'd peer pressured me to go to Virginia. Her and her sister and our friend Maddie Boa. I'm the only one in the group that doesn't do drugs. Maddie Boa got busted doing drugs, so she couldn't go. And I had to drive by myself, which is a bad idea because as an autistic person, that separates me from my support network. And that was right after I hurt my back, so I couldn't physically take care of myself either. But she was going to kill herself if I wasn't on the road already, and then she tried to kill herself, so I ended up going anyway, even though I didn't have the money. While I was there, by the way, she was 18 at the time. Her and her sister were fighting over a boy. She was on opiates because of the car accident that she tried to kill herself in, and she was also a heroin addict. And everything was cool until I got dehydrated on my birthday. And then after that, they gave me a broken phone for my birthday. The car that I had was a Honda Civic, and it broke down right outside of her mom's house when I went to go explain to her what was going on with the phone and how it wouldn't work. And then, I'd been dehydrated for about 5 days by that point. I didn't know how to use a smartphone, and that turned into me being some sort of a stalker threatening to kill her family. Anyway, that wasn't really what happened. I didn't stalk her, and I didn't threaten to kill her family. And they claimed that I was arrested, and I wasn't. I was dehydrated. I was taken to the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So it started in...
So you mentioned that Tim... Oh, sorry.
Tim Beeson was dating her when she was underage. He abused the hell out of her when she was underage, and so did her father. I do have evidence of this. It's in my emails, but the problem is that I don't have adequate time and I don't have adequate physical abilities or adequate facilities to sit down and go through all the evidence.
I see. And you mentioned, is Tim one of the people that is still contacting you?
He's not contacting me anymore. Now I have a whole new group of them just because of what's on the internet and because of the web sleuth groups. If you type up the name Natalie Bollinger, you'll see. I have panic attacks on my YouTube channel and I scream for help, but you'll likely see other people's stuff before you'll see mine. And each one of them tells a different story. They try to paint me as like a child molester or a rapist or a murderer, and I have never, ever, ever done any of those. I've never been charged with any of those. Right now I'm having to deal with a stalker named James Murphy. Sorry. Go ahead.
Was that Jason Murphy?
James Murphy, JamesMurphy. I didn't expect you guys to talk to me like this time. The last time the lady just got an attitude and hung up, she didn't understand what I was saying. I guess I thought that was several months ago since I tried, and I do apologize. I'm looking for the piece of paper that has names of the local predators I'm dealing with, but it's all over me being forced into homelessness.
Okay, I see.
Over Natalie being killed.
Okay, gotcha. And
She wasn't killed
James
until
Murphy.
yes, James Murphy. And I'm sorry, I'm scatterbrained. I'm scared. All right. So let me see. I also have a screwed up right wrist from an assault over the Natalie Bollinger situation, but that's a big hornet's nest with a guy who's a bad cop who's already moved on. Let me find it. This James Murphy guy, he stalked me here from Hood River. And in Hood River, the police did not treat me very well, and all of the services sent me around in circles. I used to be a homeless liaison in Colorado before all of this happened. But the thing is that I'm in a different state, and again, it's the jurisdictional laws and a lot of that stuff. Okay, his name's James Murphy. His phone number is 541. Sorry.
I got 541 here.
399 0656.
0656, and that was 541-399-0656.
Yes, sir. And I didn't find his name out until I was handed a protection order that I have court for tomorrow at 3:30. I thought it was today at 3:30. That's why I had to hurry up on the DOJ call that called, but it takes them forever to call back, and I take abuse here every day. People call me the N-word. They get confrontational. They make fun of me for being a homosexual, which I'm not. I mean, basically any excuse to hate me. And this guy, James Murphy, has been doing the same thing that the Bollinger family did, and their friends. They ran around pretending that I was stalking them when I told on them, played victim when I told on them, and then the police, they just take advantage of my communication difficulties when I'm stressed out.
They're essentially stalking you, but they're trying to say that you're the one
stalking them. Yes, sir. And this is
I
why I record everything on my YouTube channel, is because a lot of these people, they didn't just do this to me, they did it to other people too, and I've got those other people's voices recorded as well. Just everybody's afraid to turn it in. By it, I'm not referring to any one particular crime. When I was painted as some sort of a horrible monster on the news, you know, it didn't matter what the HEPA laws were. People were doing whatever they wanted, calling me mentally ill and getting away with doing whatever they wanted by calling me mentally ill. Inferring that I'm schizophrenic.
I see.
But I have my paperwork here from the only lady who had the ability to diagnose me as schizophrenic, and she stated outright that I'm not. And I recorded the sessions with her too, so that I have those as evidence.
Okay, and so you mentioned earlier that you were autistic, but you said that you more closely fit a different spectrum.
CPTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, but it's I can't function to do anything but speak most of the time, and that's if I'm lucky. Obviously, I'm not stupid. I just can't function. And the thing with it being a comorbid with autism. It's that it's something that medications don't fix. So I try to tell people not to put medications in me, especially not Haldol or Ativan. But when you're trying to tell on police officers, they just take you to the hospital and tell the hospital you're schizo, and they inject you with drugs, and there's nothing more you can do. Once you have a reputation like that, which is what I ended up with when Natalie was killed, that reputation follows you everywhere. You're not allowed to defend yourself or protect yourself.
Okay.
I did go to mandated reporters, including Nicole Peralta of Corona Counseling in Sydney, Nebraska. She used to work with Region 1,
Okay.
and she's one of about 200 mandated reporters that I let know about the situation that just sent me on to other people, or they just had me come back week after week after week for therapy. A lot of people have been threatening to kill my friends and family, and I have a lot of evidence of that, and it's not okay to make me a target and then threaten to kill my family.
Absolutely. Okay. So, Sean, I believe that I've gathered enough information from you here to construct a report.
There's one more thing I wanted to bring up.
I'm going to go.
There's one more thing I wanted to bring up.
Absolutely.
I'm in Tillamook, Oregon, and you're probably not going to look at the news, but Ray Rao, the sheriff, he was just recently arrested for something that I recorded some of his victims on my YouTube channel. I'm also being victimized by a couple of them here in Tillamook. That James Murphy guy isn't the only person who's done this. That's the problem with being homeless, is that you're generally blown off and your disabilities are only a liability at that point. So there's an officer here named
What you're saying?
Lothman. There's also a 14-year-old girl who was assaulted here in front of me. There's a lot, sir. And the cops won't take my report. They keep sending me to the state police, who say it's not their job to police the police.
I see. And so you're saying that this officer was recently arrested for evidence that you provided, and now you're being targeted.
I'm saying that I posted it up on my YouTube channel, in the voices of the, like their literal voices talking about these things. And I've been targeted by police since Natalie was killed. There's an officer named Waylon Lolatai, and he was actually on Denver 7 News for assaulting people. And when I tried to turn him in, a common tactic that they use is to send you to a mental hospital and tell them that you're schizophrenic or delusional. The problem is the hospitals wouldn't do that for them. So they had to settle for mentally ill until they could find a hospital staff one of the times that I go to a hospital that they can say, he's schizophrenic, and they're dumb enough to write it down. Since I have to go in by myself, their word versus mine, there's not much I can do about it. But yeah, I get retaliated against when I try to turn in cops by them trying to insinuate that I'm schizophrenic or delusional. I do have my paperwork from my licensed mental health care provider, the one who has seen me long enough, and I had to abandon her because I was victimized into leaving Nebraska.
Okay, I see. So I've got that last note down here.
So I have to worry about Lothman, who is one of the officers here. The sheriff was recently arrested. I've been speaking about the mental health thing here too since I got here. So it's the runaround. Almost everybody here in Tillamook is getting the runaround, and it's a KKK town. So, I get told, what can you do? It's a sundown town.
Okay, I see. I will make a note. Okay. And you mentioned that people are making racial remarks. How do you identify your race, if you don't mind sharing?
I'm a mutt. I'm a Heinz 57. My ancestors were everything except Native American. primarily Russian, German, the Hebrew descent, but I have ancestors from Africa, ancestors from well, Russian is Asian, I guess. But yeah, I'm a mutt, but a non-Pacific Islander mutt. They do make a
Okay.
lot of anti-Jewish
Gotcha.
remarks. They also make a lot of homophobic remarks. And everybody
Yep.
keeps
I was
giving me the advice
just
of
looking for a
moving.
way to context. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I was just looking to contextualize those remarks that you were talking about earlier,
They call
and
me the
so
N-word
that was
over and over and over again. There's also the fact that I stick up for black people, so when people use the N-word, I say I don't like that word, and they use it as like an antagonistic game, which that, isn't hurtful in the way that they're maliciously calling me the N-word now. And also the threats against my life, the pulling up to my vehicle and trying to insinuate that I'm a homosexual, and meanwhile, I'm not into men or women. I'm not interested in sex. It's always been a gross concept to me. I'm not interested. So I've got a lot of that recorded,
okay.
and it's
I,
it's the fact that nobody wants to take the report because local police are bullying me, and I recorded it.
and I'll be sure to clarify that just one more time. Bear with me while I type really fast.
I've got literally thousands of crimes that I have evidence of, and because of my disabilities and because of my lack of internet access and my lack of a proper power outlet and all of the money that it takes to keep that charged up, like I literally I can't go through everything that I need to in order to even turn in my predators. It's basically just telling somebody
I
about it
see.
until somebody allows me a room to write it in. And I had housing in Nebraska. I was in assisted living.
So, on that note, that number that I provided you earlier with the Aging and Disability Resource Connection,
Give me a second to write,
that
find
would
the
be a
pen.
place to inquire about.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Go ahead.
Oh, that would be a place to inquire about perhaps getting back into the same sort of situation that you were in before with assisted living. Yeah, that would be a
Yes, sir.
good number to call and ask about.
That's one of the issues that I'm having here. I was assaulted at the hospital here by a doctor. They don't understand what autism is. They're not very well trained. Most people aren't. That's why we're supposed to go to autism specialists. And there is no autism specialist in Tillamook. I have to go to Portland, and I don't have the money for that.
I see.
All my money's getting eaten up by going to the courts and going to all these therapy places. It gets overwhelming because I do have meltdowns, and it's not something where I'm trying to hurt anybody or anything like that. It's where I'm scared. And if I'm too scared to speak or I start stimming, I get bullied immediately. And these are supposed to be mental health workers, and that's not what they're doing. They're not understanding that I literally where you stopped and started listening, they didn't. They let me speak, but they didn't listen. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
I see. Yes, absolutely. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of a concise way to kind of word that in this report here.
I have the numbers of a lot of the people who are
Awesome.
harassing
Okay, so
me. I have their vehicles, the makes and models, and the different names that they were calling me. Some of them stopped on multiple occasions. That guy James Murphy, he drives a Toyota Dolphin. His new driver's or license plate number is 44648, and it's tan and brown. And his old license plate, when I tried to turn him in when I first got to Tillamook, is Washington plate CCV 2672, and he stalked me here from Hood River. I tried to turn him in there too. It's just that I'm not sure if you've been here, but everybody's on drugs. so I don't fit in. I don't do drugs, and it's just assumed that because I'm homeless that I must.
Got that. And he came from Hood River. Gotcha. And down to Tillamook. Okay.
I've got
44648.
do what?
Dolphin. Okay. I'm sorry. I was just I'm just making sure I got all that down. I was just I was verbalizing my notes as I was reading them back. I was Toyota Dolphin with the license plate 44648.
Yep. Also, CCV 2672 Washington plate is his old one when I tried to turn him in Hood River, but they refused to take a report there too. They said that they would talk to him, is what they told me. They also told me that I had to get a protection order against him, but I literally can't function to do that. I don't have any of the resources to do that. Another one of the one, he also likes to call me the N-word. Scream it at me because my last name means black in German. There's also a silver Toyota Tacoma here in Tillamook. License plate number 264LET silver. And that guy has harassed me and tried to intimidate me and accused me of being a homosexual and a black person and what else? The N-word, of course. He also accused me of being a rapist. Basically, any excuse they can use to target me and bully me. There's also a Toyota Tacoma, license plate number 783BXG. It's red. And they were also doing the same thing. There's also a Mercedes Benz. The driver was a young man who was. It's all recorded, sir. I just can't process it all. There's too much. I try to record 24 hours a day. Most of the time, nothing happens. But there's too many times when cops told me that because I didn't record the beginning of the incident, that they can't do anything about it. So I try to record 24/7. There's also a Honda Passport in the next county over. I was sent to the next county over by multiple people to try to turn it into the next county. So I went to the next county over that I was told to go to. And when I was there, I was threatened and harassed by a guy in a Honda Passport on July 15th. His license plate number is VRY975, red. And it was the same stuff that Murphy was saying, the same stuff as these youngins that are here, harassing me. And it costs money to establish myself somewhere, and it costs money to move, and they try to force me to move somewhere, or try to force me to establish myself here, and then they try to force me to move by not doing anything when crimes are committed, and trying to tell me, well, have you thought about moving elsewhere? It's a common tactic, and I have no defense against it because I have no friends or family members to help. I'm sorry for talking so much.
I understand. No, just I've got those vehicle descriptions and their license plate numbers down, as well as
Yes, sir. Also,
kind of what what they were being said.
If you could try to turn that into the state police too, because the people that are getting sent it here, the Tillamook people who are pretending to be adult protective services, they're not doing the job of adult protective services. I have the recordings with them.
Okay. Awesome. I will. I'll get in contact with my manager and see how I should proceed from here. To just see if I need how contacting the state police might go. But I will submit it to APS for sure.
Thank you, sir.
And I will look into contacting those state police, but I'm not sure what that looks like on my end.
Yes, sir.
But thank you for sharing all this information today with me, Sean. I know that it's been difficult. And
I'm gonna call that number you told me
submit this
to.
report, and
Before you have to ask, also, no, I'm
So
not
here,
interested in
I
harming
had a
myself or anyone else. I just wanted to state that just in case you get in trouble for not asking it. But go ahead.
You're not interested in what? I'm sorry, you
I
cut out.
said, I said I'm
You're
not.
not interested in what? It cut out.
I'm not interested in harming myself or anyone else. Just in case you have
Okay.
to ask that question. No, I'm not.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, I will. I'll make note of that. That's just that's just good information. Thank you for providing that. So I did have a question about callback. If somebody needed to call you back, I know that you get a lot of calls from this restricted number. Yeah, that's a terribly difficult situation, Sean. Okay. And so if the state police or adult protective services needed to call you back, should I put a note here to say like don't call from a restricted number?
Yes, sir.
Is there a
And
kind of
don't
a
read it
manner in
back
which
to
you
me
would?
because somebody might be in public that'll hear it. Like I said, I'm stuck in public, and that's everything that I have to talk
Okay.
about could get me kicked out of an establishment. I can't talk about the rapes. I can't talk about the murders. I can't talk about none of it.
I see. Okay. So I'm gonna get this report sent over. I'm gonna find out what I can do about the state police. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about today, Sean?
Yes, sir. But I'm trying to wind down. I was really expecting you to be a confrontational bully or